Sometimes I sit here on this old rocking chair, on the porch of my little house, and I look down the quiet road in front of the garden, and for just a moment, I swear I can still hear his footsteps. I'm not sad all the time. No. It's more like a soft kind of longing, like those late autumn afternoons when the sun is weaker, but still warm enough to touch your heart. Hello, dear one. Thank you for sitting with me for a while. I am a 79-year-old grandmother, a widow for several winters now, and today I want to share something I kept inside for a long time. The day I was left alone, the day I had to learn how to live again. Because nobody teaches us that part. They teach us how to marry, how to raise children, how to work hard. But nobody teaches us what to do when the house becomes quiet. I know you carry your own memories too, your own losses, your own empty chairs at the table. So let me speak slowly, gently, like we're sharing a warm cup of tea in my old kitchen. Stay with me for a little while, I promise you, for this is not just a sad story. It's a human one. That morning started like any other. Sunlight came through the kitchen window. I put water on the stove for coffee, just like I always did. He used to sleep a little longer than me. He always said mornings belonged to me. I walked into the bedroom to wake him gently. I spoke softly. I touched his hand. And before my mind understood, my heart already knew. The house fell silent, a heavy silence, the kind that makes the air feel thick. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. I didn't cry right away. I didn't scream. I didn't panic. I just sat there. Because when you lose the person who shared your life for decades, your body doesn't know what to do anymore. The funeral days passed. People came. They hugged me. They spoke kind words. I nodded. I thanked them. I smiled when I had to. But inside, I felt empty. And when everyone finally went home, when the door closed and the house became quiet again, that's when the real pain began. The first night I slept with the lamp on, not because I was afraid of the dark, but because the darkness felt too big. Before I used to fall asleep listening to his breathing, the radio playing softly, his slippers shuffling down the hallway. Now, nothing. That's when I learned something I never expected. Loneliness doesn't arrive all at once. It comes in small moments, in the extra cup on the table, in the unused plate, in the empty chair. And dear one, that hurts more than any big dramatic moment. But what came next was even harder to learn. For the first few months, I refused to move anything. His jacket still hung behind the door. His comb stayed in the drawer. His favorite mug sat right where he left it, because I felt that if I touched those things, I was erasing him. But one morning, I realized something painful. I wasn't living anymore. I was waiting for him to come back, waiting to hear his voice, waiting to wake up from a nightmare that never ended. And life doesn't wait. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror. I saw an old woman, tired, sad, heavy-hearted, and I spoke out loud. Yes, I really did. I said, "Old woman, you're still breathing. You're still walking. You still have love inside you." That day, I opened the windows. I let fresh air in. I washed the curtains. I swept the floor. I made myself a warm soup, even though it was only for me. It wasn't bravery. It was survival. I started taking slow walks around the neighborhood, saying hello to neighbors, sitting on park benches and watching children play. Little by little, I learned something important. Continuing to live does not mean forgetting. It means learning how to carry the memory without letting it crush you. Because love doesn't disappear. It just changes its place. It moves inside your heart. But there was still one wound left. The deepest one. The one you don't see, and it took the longest to heal. Ah, the nights. During the day you stay busy. You clean. You cook. You walk. You talk to people. But at night, your mind gets louder. I would lie in bed and replay our life like an old movie, our first dance, the little house we built together, the children running barefoot in the backyard, the silly arguments, the quiet apologies, the laughter, and I would cry, silently, so nobody could hear me. Some nights I talked to him. I told him about my day. I asked him why he had to leave first. And one night, something changed. Instead of only sadness, I felt gratitude, because I realized something powerful. Not everyone gets to love so deeply that it hurts this much. That pain was proof that my life had meaning, so I started a new habit. Before sleeping, instead of crying, I thanked. Thank you for the years. Thank you for the children. Thank you for the mornings we shared. Slowly, my chest began to breathe again, but there was still one last lesson waiting for me, maybe the most important one. When you live many years with someone, you forget who you are alone. I was always his wife, the children's mother, the grandchildren's grandma. One day I asked myself, who am I when I am alone? So I started doing small things just for me. I began knitting again, listening to old music, writing memories in a notebook. I fixed my hair even when I stayed home. I wore perfume even when nobody visited. Because I finally learned something, even at this age. I deserved care too. I started meeting other widows from the neighborhood. We drank tea together. We laughed. We cried. We shared stories. And I discovered something beautiful. Loneliness becomes lighter when it is shared. I didn't fall in love again. I didn't try to replace him. But I fell back in love with life, with sunrise light, with warm meals, with grandchildren's hugs. And one day, something wonderful happened. I stopped feeling lonely, even when I was alone. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. I was sitting right here on this porch. The sun was slowly setting. Birds were singing. And suddenly, I felt peace. Not loud happiness, not dramatic joy. Peace. I realized he lived in my memories, not in my absence. That my life didn't end when his did. That I still had time, even if not much, to live gently. That day I understood something simple but powerful. It's not about how many years we have left. It's about how we fill them, with kindness, with calm, with presence, and right there, sitting alone. I made a promise to my heart. I would not waste another day drowning only in sadness, because every morning we wake up is a gift. And now, I want to tell you something. If you are grieving, if you feel lonely, if your house feels too big and too quiet, let me tell you this softly. You are not broken. You are wounded, but you are still alive. And as long as there is life, there is possibility. Possibility to smile again, to breathe easier, to find beauty in simple things. I never forgot my husband. I never will. But I learned to walk with his memory beside me, not on top of me. If you want, share in the comments who you miss. I will read your words slowly, with respect, with care. And if this story kept you company,